Alan in Denmark writes, you told, I hate it when people start like that because that makes me in trouble. You said in a video that you replaced the woofers in the base tower. Oh, okay, that's right. All right, so it wasn't something I said that I got caught being wrong, and I've been wrong plenty. And you run the system without the servo. I have an Infinity IRS Epsilon, and would be interesting to try woofer replacements like you did in your IRS-5. So I can try to run the IRS Epsilons without the servo. Hope you have time to reply to my questions. Okay, yes. So let me give you a little bit of background. Put this stuff over here. Oh, the IRS-5, which by the way, is for sale. This IRS system is truly one of a kind. Rebuilt, all new EMIM drivers were rebuilt because these all start fading away on the older ones. And as he and new crossovers, same old crossovers are in there if you ever wanted to use them, but they're not very good. So, and these are all blessed by the designer of the IRS, Arnie Nudell. So if you're interested in owning a one-of-a-kind pair, I have finally decided, after all this time, I'm going to sell them. So yeah, they're going to go for about 70,000 bucks. And you're going to have to ship them. We can ship them for you, but you know, we'd have to hire a company, and which we're happy to do, but it's probably a couple of grand to ship them. Anyway, on to the question. All right, these woofers replaced the cheesy IRS woofers. So as you may or may not know, Arnie Nudell, the designer of these, and I were, you know, close friends for many, many years. In fact, we ran a company together after he left Infinity called Genesis, and at Genesis we made the Gen 1s, which was a similar design to this. So Arnie and I are very tight, and I don't think he would object to me saying that one of the things that Infinity did is they used the cheapest woofers they could. They looked cool, but they were cheap. And the reason they used cheap woofers, small magnets, not cast frames, but stamped frames, was because Arnie believed that it was stupid to put a whole bunch of money into a fancy woofer when the servo made up for all of the deficiencies of the woofer, right? Why would you spend money, your customer's money, because you'd have to charge more. These fancy woofers are not cheap. So Arnie would say, well, you know, I want to get this out for a price that makes sense, so we're going to use these off-the-shelf woofers because we put a servo onto it and it makes up for any difference. And all of that is true. And for many years, I designed all the servo systems, and I know that to be true, that it lowers distortion. But like any feedback system, everything is a compromise. So you get this benefit here and you lose out over here. And when Chris Brunhaver came on board to be our speaker designer, he had sort of a bet with me, and he said, I know you're in love with servos, but let me give you another view. If you buy and spend the money to put in properly designed, low distortion, high excursion woofers that frankly weren't really available at the time that Arnie designed these back in 1985, you can get better results without the problems of the servo. And we don't need to go into all that. And I didn't really believe it. Didn't make sense to me. But he proved it to me. And from that point on, I gave up on servos, and we went in all of the Aspen speakers that we do, and these with low distortion, cast frame, beautiful woofers. These are, if you really want to know what these are, email me, paul@psaudio.com, and I'll get Chris to send you the details on these. I don't remember exactly where, they're expensive. They were like $150, $200 each. And then there are instead of one amplifier in the back that Infinity placed on that drove all 6 of them in parallel, we've built custom 700-watt amplifiers, and there's one for every single woofer. And that plus those woofers, this thing just kicks ass on the original Infinity IRS system. I mean, this system is probably the best sounding IRS-5s I've ever heard in my life, and that's because they're custom designed. But that hopefully answers your question. If you do want to know the specifics, just email me and we can get that to you, okay? And if you are interested in being the owner of this one-of-a-kind, beautiful set of IRS-5 loudspeakers, same email address, paul@psaudio.com, and we'll get you hooked up. All right, thanks.